Hey y'all. Y'all may or may not remember me. My name is Miss Sims. I am Miss Riddell's Baylor intern for the whole school year. I had a little introduction video that y'all probably saw at the beginning of the semester. Sorry that I haven't gotten to work with y'all so much yet, but I'm just getting this stuff sorted out. So today I will be leading this lesson for y'all and hopefully some more in the next coming weeks. So, first we're going to look at this worksheet right here, okay? And you should have a PDF copy of this, so if you need to pull that up and look at it, you can. But here's what we're looking at. So we have some receipts. We have 4 different receipts right here. Okay, so these receipts are for a rocket fundraiser that is happening. So they're having a fundraiser and they're selling 4 different items. So those 4 items have individual prices of $5, $7, $9, or $12. Okay, so on each receipt you have different items in different quantities, and then you have the total that adds up to on each receipt. Okay, so what we're trying to figure out for these receipts is which item, so masks, hats, decals, or t-shirts, goes with which price. So you have 4 different prices, 4 different items. Okay, so what I would like y'all to do now is go ahead and pause this video and work on trying to come up with some kind of way, whatever way makes sense to you, to figure out which price goes with which item. So pause this video, and then when you finished or you think you got an answer, you can come back. All right, so hopefully you got to figure out some kind of way for you to match those prices with the items. So some way that y'all might have thought of was plugging numbers into some kind of equation to see if that would match the total it gave you on the receipt, right? So maybe you tried to make mask $5, right? And we would multiply that by 3 to get $15, and then maybe you made hat $7, multiply that by 2 to get 14. So 15 plus 14, right? That adds up, and see if that matches your total or not. So hopefully you did that, or something like that. But what I want you to think about now is there a way that we can do this mathematically? So you may or may not have used math in your first attempt to find the prices for each item, but if you did not, is there a way we could do this mathematically? And what do you think it is? So there is actually a way, and that is what this unit is going to be covering. All right, and I'm going to share that with you now. So the way for this is doing what is called a system of equation, okay? So let's go back to our receipts. So a system of equations, that's going to be 2 or more equations. So you might have seen this in your past math classes where you had 2 equations. It could be 2 or more, so more than 2. And all of those equations usually have the same variables, right? And so we can use different ways to solve them to find what those variables are. So the variables here, since on each receipt we know the quantity and what item it is, the variables that we don't know on each receipt is the price of each item, right? So let's try to come up with some equations that match each one of these receipts. So this very first one, we're going to have 4 different equations because we have 4 different receipts and 4 different totals. So this first receipt on the top left, we have 3 masks, 2 hats, and the total is going to be $39. So since the total is $39, we know that's going to equal 39. Okay, we know that we have 3 masks, so we'll say that the price for a mask is going to be M. That's going to be multiplied by 3 because we have 3 of those, so 3M. And then we're going to add on how many hats we have. So we'll use H for the hats, and we have 2 of those, so 2H. Okay, and those are the only 2 items that we have on this receipt. So that is our equation for the top left one. Okay, so let's look at the top right one. So we still have masks and hats, but we have different quantities and a different total. So our total is going to equal $59. And then we have 2 masks, so that's going to be 2M. Plus we have 5 hats, so it's going to be 5H. Okay, now we're going to move on. If you're taking notes, make sure you have those down. We're going to move on to these next 2 receipts down here. Okay. All right, so the one on the left, we have a total of $60, so it's going to equal 60. Then we have 4 masks, so we have 4M. Okay, and then we have 3 hats, so that's going to be plus 3H. And now we have another variable in this equation because we added on another item. So we have 1 decal, so we're going to have D for decal, so just 1. We can just write that as D. All right, and that's all we need for that equation. We only have those 3 items. Okay, now let's look at the very last one. So we have a total of $66, so equals 66. All right, and then the first thing we have is 2 masks, so 2M, plus 2 hats, 2H, plus 2 decals, so 2D. And then we have one more new variable, right? So we have 3 already like the last one, but now we have another one. So 2 t-shirts, we're going to write plus 2T. All right, so you'll see the first 2 equations we had, those only had 2 variables, right? And then this third one right here, we added another variable because we had another item. And then this one, we added 1 more because we had the t-shirts added on, right? But at least 2 variables were included in all of these equations, okay? So we're going to cover different ways we can solve this system of equations. So the system right here is made up of 4 equations, right? And the most variables we have is 4 variables because we had 4 items. And we're going to learn different ways to solve systems of equations, so that way we can find out what those variables equal, okay? And what those variables equal is going to be our solution or our solutions for that system of equation, okay? So whatever this M equals right here, that same number for M has to be able to be plugged into all these other equations, okay? Same thing with this H. Whatever we get for that H when we solve, that has to be able to be plugged in all of our equations that have H. Okay, so these all kind of work in tandem together. So hopefully that made sense and you can get a nicer grasp on how we can even create a system of equations and what it is. There should be a discussion board up on Schoology for you to answer some questions over systems of equations. And I will see y'all next time.